record this. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover what Spectrum CRM does, high level, 6 or 7 bullet points, and then we'll go through and discuss the interface and how that interface works.
Yeah. Hey, Dave. Dave, we're having a difficulty here for a second. Just give us a second. Sorry. We may have to get it display properly.
Like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to go over just some high-level items about what Spectrum CRM does and how it helps commercial contractors like Hatzel-Buehler and Cannon Roofing. We'll talk about the interface and how that interface works and what data goes back and forth and when. And then I'll touch on the major features of the software. It's a little bit redundant to the first items, but I'll cover a couple items that are not discussed in bullet point number 1. And then I'll go in and I'll demo the software for you. And we will focus on the bid tracking component. We'll drill down on the proposal builder, and we'll look at all the information that we capture for your jobs and your opportunities, and show you some of the reports and things like that, so you get a real good feel for what's in the software. Okay, so how do we help so many commercial contractors? Well, you could put us in the CRM bucket, I guess, but we do a lot more than a traditional CRM solution will do. First of all, it's cloud-based and it's available anywhere. It's specifically designed for commercial builders and commercial contractors. And what that means is it understands the difference between an opportunity, a bid invitation, or a bidding opportunity, and a job. And we often break things down into those 3 phases like you see here. You have opportunities that you're working on. Maybe it's new construction. Maybe it's post-construction follow-up work, and that's why the arrow goes back from construction back to lead and opportunity, because you're focusing on leads and managing opportunities after a job is done for the service work, for the warranty work, for inspection work, whatever follow-up work exists, or maybe even the next project. Okay? And then we also understand that at one point, and not for all jobs, but for the big jobs typically, it will go into a bidding or proposal phase. And that's where we're starting to track those bids against that one job. And we'll have multiple bids for a single job. We will have multiple proposals for each one of those bids potentially. We'll have an original proposal, a revised proposal, an alternate proposal, all rolling up to that one job. Okay? And then hopefully you get the job, and then it moves into construction phase, and the construction phase allows you to manage the statuses and integrate that with Spectrum so that when a job is inactive or complete, Spectrum CRM knows about it, and then Spectrum CRM will follow up and apply a plan or a workflow to that project so that you're following up on the next phases of the project or the follow-up work or whatever opportunities spin out of that after the job is done. And so being a CRM solution for commercial contractors, we understand those phases and what's necessary to do the lead management and the marketing and the bid management as well. So we have the CRM component. We have a proposal builder, and the proposal builder automatically generates proposals from standardized documents, Word documents, that are loaded into the system as a template, for lack of a better term, a template or a mail merge type situation. And then you can generate a proposal by assembling standard documents together, you know, a cover letter, a proposal itself, maybe a list of references, insurance requirements, whatever is required from the person that hasn't asked for the quote, okay, or asked for the proposal. They may say, I want a profile of the project manager that you're submitting on the job, and you can add that to the proposal. And then you can push a button and generate a proposal that pre-populates the proposal with all the information about the job, about the customer, the contact at the customer, the job location, the description of the job, and whatever else you want to insert into that proposal document will be added to the proposal automatically. And then you can email it, generate a PDF, print it, save it, whatever you want to do from there. Okay, and then so we're kind of getting outside of the CRM bucket and where we're getting into things called bid tracking. Now, bid tracking is very important for companies like Hatzel-Buehler and Cannon Roofing. Bid tracking allows you to manage your bids against a single job. So an invitation to bid goes out. It comes from multiple general contractors in this scenario. And then you're managing those bids and those proposals against all those invitations to bid, but they all roll up to the same job. So you're only going to get one of them or none of them potentially. And your reports and your forecasts and your win-loss analysis needs to reflect all that. So if you win one of those invitations to bid and it's awarded to you, you want to close out the other ones and say, well, we didn't lose it, but it was awarded to us from another general contractor. And then all your reports and your forecasts shake out appropriately. Okay. So I'm not really reading from this. I'm just kind of talking through it. Now, what we also have, which is not traditionally in CRM, is email marketing and marketing campaigns. And it's often referred to, you may hear this term, it's called marketing automation. Marketing automation meaning you're going to apply a drip campaign or an email campaign to a customer based on their status in the pipeline or the status within a job, and they'll get regular emails to say, hey, look, we're here, we're ready when your service contract is up for renewal or your warranty expires, whatever that may be. But you can also do email campaigns from the system, just like you would do in Constant Contact or MailChimp, but it's part of CRM. And that allows you to target the emails because you have a lot of data on your customer. You have good customer data to say, hey, I want this just to go to general contractors, or I want this just to go to property managers, or I want this email to go to building owners. Because you may be Cannon Roofing and you may say, well, look, I want to go after the service contract when their warranty expires because I know they just put a new roof in, a year ago. And it will go up for service contract in 2 years from that date. So that is a really powerful tool when you're trying to market yourself to these building owners and property managers and anybody that you want to talk to about your services and your products. We have customers that are starting new divisions. Okay, they're spinning up a new division. It may be a service division, and they just want to focus on service. So they prepared email campaigns and sent them out to everybody in their database, whether it be owners, general contractors, property managers, and they talk about their new service division. And then they also threw in there things like, well, we won a safety award this year. And so they put that in an email campaign and they send it out to everybody and they get a lot of attention from that. So it's really effective, easy, and it's part of the software. So it's a really good tool for you guys to have. Okay, we have the Content Center as well, which stores documents and templates. I'll show you that. It's much easier to just show you that when we do the demo. And then, of course, we have tons of reporting, dashboards, and analytics. We have a new dashboard coming out that's going to allow us to add special little tiles or widgets, if you want to call them that, that we can customize for our builders. They may want to see what bids are in the pipeline, who's working on it, what's the project name, and what's the dollar amount, and you can put that on your dashboard. Or what new opportunities do I have, or different things that you can just throw on your dashboard. And then we have the ability for them to have custom reporting added into the system as well. Okay, so we have the Spectrum interface. So that goes between Spectrum CRM and Spectrum ERP, I'll just call it, because it is not just the accounting piece, but it's also the service piece, the work order piece, and things like that are tied in. So this Spectrum interface is always growing and always changing and always improving. But right now, it's a very robust. Are you guys okay?
Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Okay. When I hear something, sometimes I wonder if it's a question. But okay, so we have a two-way interface, and the two-way interface allows you to send jobs from Spectrum CRM over to Spectrum when they are awarded, and it will include all the information that you want. Well, maybe not all the information, but most of the information, I would say, that you would want to include on that job, including the customer, any special fields like, is it a certified payroll job? Is it a Davis-Bacon job? What's the division? What's the cost center? Who is the project manager? And that matches it up with the Spectrum employee customer code. Okay, so you can assign the project manager in Spectrum. And we also have the ability for you to select a standardized job template. Okay, and that job template allows you to set the defaults, essentially. So I'm going to create a job, and it's in this location. It has these sales tax codes. It has these, division, cost center, so on and so forth. And it'll create that job with that template as a reference to set all the defaults for you. Okay, so we also send new customers over to Spectrum. So if you have a job that's awarded to you and the customer does not exist in Spectrum, we'll go ahead and create the customer and the contact records and then associate the job to the customer. We also pull down the statuses, so when the status of a job changes, we'll bring it down to Spectrum CRM and apply the appropriate workflow. We have a data conversion utility that pulls in new customers and contacts from Spectrum every night, or you can do it as a one-time pull from Spectrum. And that allows you guys to get your database all set up and populated with customers and contacts and jobs, and you're up and running very quickly on Spectrum CRM. And we do that by Spectrum customer code, just so you know, because there may be multiple customer codes in Spectrum, and we do it. We don't want the test one. We don't want the training one. We want the real ones, and we do it by customer code. All right. We also pull in financial summary information and job history. I'll just show that to you when we do the demo. And there's also a video on this down here. You can watch it, and it shows it real time where we recorded, going into Top Builder, setting the job to awarded, log into Spectrum, see that it's in Spectrum, set the status to complete, go back to Spectrum CRM, and then see the new follow-up plan that's added. Okay, so we have other features that we did not cover. We have pretty much covered everything, I think, but we covered all the high-level items. There are things that aren't covered in the previous slides, like the help center. We have email integration, so when a customer emails his client back and forth, a builder emails his client back and forth, they get that emails added to the history. We have calendar appointments added to their Outlook if they want to, and all kinds of reminders and alerts that are configurable so that you can get email, text, or calendar reminders for your tasks and your to-dos and things like that. Okay, so I will leave the slide open so in case I need to refer back to it, but I'll go ahead and dive into the demo here. Now, guys, let me know can you see this okay, or do I need to zoom in?
Probably zoom in one level.
How's that?
That's good. That's good.
All right. Okay. So I'll do the demo in two passes. I'll go through the menu options really quickly so that you can see what's in the menu options and see what features are there. And also, I want you to see how easy it is to use the software. It's very important. We obsess about ease of use, and I hopefully we have arrived at a solution that's easy to use. And then I'll go back and I'll go into some detail, especially about the bid tracking and the proposal builder piece. So we have a dashboard, and I'll come back and I'll talk to you about the dashboard in a minute. Basically, a snapshot of what's going on right now within your company. We have the CRM module where you can manage your leads. Okay, and Spectrum's we're in the demo environment, so it has to wake up. It's a little slow. But we have that. You can configure this and get rid of columns and add columns if you want to. I'm going to get rid of a few so you can see all the columns there. You can manage your customers. Your customers being general contractors, building owners, property managers, trades, vendors, suppliers. We have people that put their church Bible study group on here so that they can be included on invitations to parties. So you can put any company or any organization in here and add the contacts to that, and you can categorize them by what type of company or organization is this. And then you can manage your contacts, of course, and your contacts are associated to your opportunities. Your contacts are added to companies and can be moved between companies if they switch jobs very easily. And then everything in the system, by the way, can be tagged. So you can tag your leads, your accounts, your contacts, and your tasks, okay, so that you can find them in what we call the, I can tell whose phone's ringing, by the way. But you could search maybe on Spectrum customer code, like Bell Albert for Albert Bell Construction. Oh, I mistyped that. And then you can easily find that account by Spectrum customer code, or you can search on job number, or you can search on part of an email address. So let me just type in like part of my email address and find them. Okay, and I know I'm getting into a little bit of the weeds here, so I'll try to pull it up a little bit more higher level. Okay, so we have the bid tracking and the proposal builder. The bid tracking is going to allow you to, I did a demo yesterday and I need to change this. Track your bids against a single job, and I set this to awarded yesterday, so I'll go back and I'll reset the statuses for you and show you the detail. But then we also have a bid calendar, and your bid calendar allows you to see what jobs you have in the pipeline that you're bidding on, who's working on it, what's the name of the job, and when is that bid due. And then it indicates the status and the amount of that bid. And so you could shrink down each individual person and say, look, I want to see everything Ashley's working on. Okay, she's got one due on this date and this date. Dave's got 3. Eric's got 1. And then I can see exactly which jobs those are. And then I can filter and say, well, look, I don't really want to see the ones where nobody's assigned. And then there you go. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to come back to that and talk about the bids in a minute. And then we have the proposal manager, and the proposal manager allows you to see and filter on proposals, okay? Whoopsie, there we go. Basically be able to see all your proposals by company or status, and then be able to go in quickly and see what that proposal is and edit the proposal. Now, you can go into a job and see the proposals. You can go into a customer and see all the proposals for a customer. This is another way of being able to filter and manage your proposals and see what's going on. All right. Now we have the email marketing system. I talked a lot about that earlier. It allows you to target an email, like I said, and quickly go in and say, well, look, I want to take an email, select a layout, select who's my target audience. Let's say it's just general contractors. Okay. Add them to the list. Enter some text and some images. Okay. And then you can preview it and then send yourself a test message. And then you can look at what that email looks like on your phone, on your tablet, in Outlook, in Yahoo. And then you can schedule it for delivery or just send it. And then once it goes out, you can track it and see who got it, who opened it, who clicked on the links to go to your website or look at your new service offering as an example, if it bounced, if they opted out, things like that. Okay. Now, reports and analytics, I will tell you that this is an ongoing process to develop reports and improve on reports. So we like to continue to add reports to the menus. And also we have a section, as I mentioned earlier, that allows us to create custom reports for our builders and our customers. So a builder like Hatzelbuehler or Cannon Roofing can have their own set of custom reports. And this will be only available to them unless we find that it's something that we want, to share with everybody, that's useful for everybody, like the one loss report. And we'll ask the customer if they say, well, we want this report. We'll ask the customer and say, well, is it okay if we make that a standard report for everybody else to see? And that's pretty neat. Our reports, if you can see here, you can kind of look at our reports in 3 phases. Like we have the lead management phases. You have your opportunities and basically your sales pipeline, right? You have your bids and your proposals and basically your jobs, or what happens after the bid and proposal phase. Which ones did you lose? Which ones did you win? Sales performance, and you can do that by division, location. I think Hatzel calls it branch location. And then also, salesperson, industry, you can break it down. And then also we have marketing reports. You can even print mailing labels and things like that. Okay, so just want to make sure everybody knows that the reports are all exportable to PDF and Excel so that you can save it and take it home. All right, so we have a content center, and the content center stores standardized documents and like a proposal letter, a cover letter. You can edit these documents right in Top Builder, or you can edit them in Microsoft Word outside of Top Builder and then upload them or even replace what you have. So I'm sorry for the slowness. We're in the demo environment and it needs to wake up and before it gets running fast. But for instance, here we have a proposal letter. You can edit it using our Word editor here and then save it, and then you can categorize it. For instance, Hatzelbuehler may have the branch locations. They may want to assign proposal documents by branch location because they have different, they may have a different address that shows up on the bottom of the cover letter, or some of our customers have different branding or logos for their different divisions. This is a real life one, real life scenario where we have electrical contractor that has 3 different divisions, and they're all treated as 3 separate brands. So they want the Innova brand on the Innova ones, of course, and then the other ones reflect the other divisions on their templates. Okay, so like I said, you can load these directly from your hard drive, categorize them, and add them directly to proposals. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. All right, so I'm going to exit the Content Center, and I'm going to show you briefly the Help Center. This is very important because we have videos, helpful videos, how-to guides, and we even customize training. So let's pretend we're doing training right now for one of our customers. We record it, and then we drop it in the Help Center, and they can go here and check on this box, and they can find it. And it's only available to them. So they can have their own customized training videos and how-to guides right here in the Help Center. And then they can share it with their other team members, or, if they have new people, joining their company, they have the training right there. Now, we're happy to do the training again, but it just makes things a little bit easier if we have a recording and they can go back to it and review it and share it. Now, we have daily training. So our customers can register for training 5 days a week and at these times, and we have email and phone support as well. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to get into some of the details here and let you guys ask me questions if you have anything you want to see in more detail. All right, so I've got my leads, and I can add documents to my leads, notes, tasks, and history. But I can also take a lead and I can flip it into a bid opportunity. So I can take a lead and say, okay, I've been working on this lead for, 6 months. And they came to me finally and said, hey, man, okay, we're ready to start accepting bids. So you can create a bid opportunity from that lead, and what it will do is it will create a bid opportunity with the same general information as the lead, but then it'll allow you to add more bids to that bid opportunity as they come in from additional general contractors. Now, you don't have to have multiple. You could just have one in there, but of course you can start adding them as they come in. Now, I'm going to go in here real quickly, and I'm going to change the statuses. I'll tell you what, I am not going to do that because it'll drag the demo down, but I need to do that after this meeting. Okay, so let me show you here. I can see from bid opportunities how many bids I've got going on, generally when are they due, okay? And then underneath that, I can see all the individual bids, who is working on them, who is the estimator or project manager, and a lot of time for our customers, it's the same person. What's the bid amount, and what is the status? And when is the bid due, and if it was submitted, on what date was it submitted, okay? And now I can drill down into one of those and see all the information that I've captured, even when it was a lead, associated with that job. So I can see the details, what is the address, I can set up user definable fields, okay? And so I'm going to try to grab these are all user definable fields that go in that area there, all right? And then I have some Spectrum information where I can set up the job number, the cost center, division, and then certified payroll or prevailing wage. And this is mutually exclusive here because you can't do both. And then I have my bids and my proposals for that bid opportunity or for this actual bid itself. I have a follow-up plan, and that changes as the status changes. So if I go into bid submitted status, you'll see that this plan is going to go away, all right? And it should create a new plan. Looks like it's a little slow today. There we go. And then here comes the new plan. And that new plan has an email that goes out to the customer saying thank you for the opportunity, and then a checklist of items that you need to do. Follow up in a few days to see if they have any questions. Maybe you do a bid review with them. I'm not really sure, but you have a plan that tells you what's next. You have all the history. You have notes. You have documents and photos. You have job history from Spectrum. So all the jobs for DeMarco Construction will come down, tell you how many active jobs do I have, at what dollar amount, how many completed jobs at what dollar amount, and inactive jobs at what dollar amount. and then you have a history, including the revised contract amounts as change orders come through, okay? Because everybody knows change orders happen. And then you can see that for DeMarco Construction in this scenario. All right, I have financial history coming down. I'll go back to this real quick. Let me show you, I want to go into a customer that has some financial history real quick. So that would be Albert Bell. Okay, so Albert Bell has good financial history. Well, good depending on who you are, I guess. But we have the balances that they owe you, $125,000 or so, and it's 90 days overdue. They're out of credit, so their credit limit has exceeded, and you can see what the revenue has been over the last 2 years and year to date. And then you can see a history of all their invoices. And this is good information while you're managing your customer relationships, when you're contacting your customers, when you're deciding whether or not to bid on a job. You also have the estimates that come in from a third-party estimating system. In this particular example, this came from an estimating software called Bid or B2W, formerly Bid to Win, but it could be anything. ProEst, I-Square-Foot, whatever can bring that information in, and then you can have the history there while you're working on your opportunities. All right, so back to this one. So what we've got, this is my demo bid, so I go back to that. For the bid, I can assign an estimator, and then I can send the estimators an alert to say, hey, you have a bid, it's a bid opportunity, it's due 6/21/2017, and that email alert has a link to this information, job information, so they can go in and they can get the information they need, including documents. All right, so you can have a primary estimator, secondary estimators, then you have a bid amount, you can put an estimate ID in there, an alternate bid amount, and then you can have your proposals. And your proposals can be multiple proposals. Like I said earlier, you could have a completed proposal, a revised proposal, a draft proposal, and an alternate proposal. And Hatzel Bueller has said they certainly want to have alternate proposals and alternate bid amounts to be available as well. Okay, so on those proposals, we have documents. And for that proposal, again, we can take documents out of the Content Center, add them to the proposal. I can edit this document just for this proposal. Okay, like let's say that's what I did here. I edited this yesterday during a demo. Happy birthday is obviously only for this particular customer on this particular proposal. So it doesn't affect the template, just this proposal. I can add an additional document, which is the actual proposal itself. I can add the appendices. I mentioned before they may require you to submit the background of the project manager that you're submitting and references. Okay? And then once you're done with all that, you can go ahead and generate the proposal. It combines all those documents and fills in the blanks. Okay? Who's the customer? What's the contact over at the customer that you're sending it to? The scope of work or the description of the project, how much you're submitting it to, the changes you made to the cover letter right there, and then the proposal and the appendices are added to the document as well. And then I can generate a PDF, I can email it, I can track it, and well, I can print it and save it on my hard drive if I would like to. Now, you may say, well, geez, I missed some things. Well, just go in and change that. I missed a couple things on there. I want to change it. Regenerate the proposal. Now, another feature that will make things a lot easier for you is we have the ability to go in and copy the proposal, and it'll generate a copy. And then what will happen is you can go in, and then after the copy has been made, just change who the customer is, and then all the fill in the blanks fall into place, if that makes sense. So in other words, I've got my proposal, I've made a copy of it, I changed the customer, and now it's not DeMarco, now it's whatever, Albert. Okay, I can change the customer. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess up my demo. But the customer will be the same, and then when you regenerate the document, you have the new customer information on there. And you can see that the job is still the same because you're basically changing the proposal to submit it to a different general contractor, or general contractor in this case, but it is for the same job. Okay. So does anybody have any questions?
I think we're good on proposals. You sell this product to software resellers?
I'm sorry?
We could use this. We could use this proposal systems for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we might make it available to you then. We have had, it's interesting that you mentioned that because we use it ourselves, but we've had customers that are actually using another CRM system sign up just for the proposal builder. And I was quite surprised by that. And I would imagine after they're in here digging around, they'll probably use the whole system because they're paying for it. But they said, well, at least we want the proposal builder, and they signed up for the proposal builder, which I think is kind of cool. So.
Cool. Good. Yeah. So I guess, especially for you guys, kind of understand how Hatzel's expecting to use it, and you can see that with 9 offices, 3 of them might be bidding the same job with different contractors, or might be bidding all the same jobs to the same contractor. That's what we're trying to avoid. Be vague, consistency, branding across all locations, and faster turnaround and tracking. And I don't want to know that I got 20 billion out there for bid when the reality of it, 4 of them are duplicate. L4, divide that by 4. I really have 4 of that. So, good stuff.
I think the other thing, Dave, you can show the win-loss rate by customer or GC that you're working with.
Yes. So the one-loss rates, this particular one is showing it by branch location in Hatzel-Buehler's case, but you're able to show a one-loss report. Let me look at the notes here, and this is rolling out this week. It's basically the same version of this report by customer. Okay, and obviously you can filter this by customer, but we want to group it by customer. Okay. So instead of Canada, this will be a customer and all the one lost jobs on there, but also by industry, okay, by job type, which is really important. So you may break out your jobs. And by the way, I didn't mention that, but you can break out your jobs by job type. And you can define what that list looks like. So it may be a new construction, it may be preventative maintenance agreement, it may be a service contract, warranty, or repair, and you'll also be able to do your one-loss report by job type, okay? And then by estimator, and then, well, frankly, you could do it by the sources of your leads as well if that's important to you.
Here's a question. When I'm running it by customer, going back to our friends at Hatzel, they're going to have one customer, but as Pete said, might be from multiple branches. So then would they then be able to run this win-loss by customer, by branch within that?
Yeah, right now it doesn't support that, but I see it makes sense.
I can see that being a huge need for them.
Yeah. So basically what we would do in that case is just create one more level of detail for this. So it'd be customer and division, or division and then customer, or you could break it down by Canada, and then you can see that the customer is on here, okay, but it's not totaling and showing you separately for Gateway Sidewalks or Comcast. I understand what you're saying. So it can do that, and we certainly would be open to adding that level of detail in one of these reports. No doubt. Good suggestion.
So, I mean, the big thing I just want you guys to understand is, A, this is available. B, this product represents 3 or 4 different solutions somebody might actually go out and buy. Because, as Dave said earlier, it's not just CRM. So, for instance, CDP pays for Salesforce, the CRM. Then we pay for Constant Contact, which is our email campaign notifications. So you're getting the email campaigns and notifications as part of the CRM package with this solution. That includes setting up triggers and reminders that after they constructed a job and the 2-year warranties are up on the equipment they installed, that they should start advertising their service business to a construction job they did 2 years ago, so that they can get the service business now and not just have the construction business. You got all the alerts and everything else built into it. Then you got bid tracking, which other companies go out and spend money just on a bid tracking system. What am I bidding? I want to put my bid documents in here. I want to track my bids and do all that in here. And you got the proposal builder with the quoting system. So all 4 of those components, in some cases, are 4 different systems somebody's going to go out and buy.
On the bid and proposal part, they don't have subcontractor requalification rating.
Yeah, so that came up yesterday, Dave. The guys asked me when we were setting up this demo with you about pre-qualifying subcontractors that are going to work for them on jobs on these bids. And is that something that you see on your radar and your roadmap for doing, because you have those contacts and vendors in your system?
Yeah.
Pre-qualification process?
It's currently
Up at Hatzel.
hey guys. So currently that is not on our roadmap. However, subcontractors and sub bids continue to come up during our demos, just like it's doing now. So we'll have a lot of our potential customers, our prospects, say, hey, well, look, we're managing bids to the general contractor, but I'm also taking some of these out, and as I'm preparing these bids, I'm reaching out to my subs and my vendors and my suppliers, and I want to track who I've received my bids from, what the dollar amounts are, whether it's approved or not, and I don't know all of the details, but it keeps coming up. So my answer would be, we would absolutely add that to the roadmap if it's something that we feel like is beneficial for the majority of our contractors. That's the way we do things around here, and that's how we arrived at bid tracking in the first place. I mean, frankly, Hatzel-Buehler came to us with this and said, we really need this, and it doesn't exist in the industry. Let me tell you about it. And we said, okay, let's go do it. And we did it. So we would certainly be willing to talk about that some more, and I'd love to hear everybody's feedback on that. And then we can certainly add it to our roadmap and provide even more value than what we're providing today.
Yeah, so I think you got a couple of good candidates in Hatzel-Buehler and in MB Haynes. Those are going to pre-qual vendors and want to track possibly prices provided by vendors of them So you could probably do a case study with both companies, to come up with a feature set that could be, you know, released later this year, next year, whatever your time frame is. But I think both of those companies would be interested in that kind of a functionality.
Yeah. I'm writing this down, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on our roadmap. It'll have it won't have a date next to it yet, but it requires obviously some investigation, both from a business side and from a technical side, to make sure we can do it properly. But yeah, I mean, if, you know, we said this at the very beginning, that this is not just CRM, but a lot more, and it's focused on commercial construction. So if this is what commercial contractors need, then that's what we will do.
I think Kristen had a question. What was the question, Kristen?
If vendors or something you're looking at doing, then maybe it might be helpful if they could be imported as well, like you're importing the jobs, if it's not already in the Spectrum setup.
So basically another integration point like customers or jobs we would want, if you got vendors in integration point exchanges with Spectrum would be warranted.
You understand that, Dave?
I did, at a high level. I don't understand the details, but are you?
Yeah, so right now you're importing
Customers.
the customer to set up a job, right, for Spectrum. So you might want to be able to import vendors that they're subcontracting with, so that those vendors are already in your system, and then we can track their bids and their qualifications, and you're just pulling the vendor list out of Spectrum.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Just as with, you said, if you create a new customer in the Spectrum CRM and the job gets awarded, you can create that new customer in Spectrum. We would want the same ability with the vendor side for the subs.
Right, because it could be that the people in sales learn about a new vendor before accounting does, and they're going to get bids, and then if they're awarded that job, we would want to set that vendor up in Spectrum and push it over because it didn't already exist.
That does make a lot of sense.
And what you're doing with the pre-qual documents, by having all of that, we can send those attachments potentially over to Spectrum as part of document imaging. And now you've helped accounting get a vendor approved and in the accounting system.
Link it to the tracking items.
So